Good evening all, and welcome once again to Tinker, Tailor, Solder, Fry, the Let's Try program here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. My name's Ian Horner, and as always, I will be your navigator through tonight's proceedings as we figure out some stuff and put some stuff together and whatnot. You know, sometimes it's food, sometimes it's, what do you call it? Sometimes it's weather work? Yeah, we do that sometimes. Not new glasses, too many knives. These have been around for a good couple months now, but hey, new to you, and that's new enough. Tonight's project, by the way, but yeah, you know, whoa, let's hold it back here. First of all, I want to thank everyone who's joining us today, who is a patron over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Remember, you make these streams happen, and we're happy to allow these lights keep getting reflected back into your face, keeping those on. Right, tonight's project, though, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one, because I think this is going to be the start of at least a multi-part project. Tonight might not be the most interesting, but it's definitely going to be tedious. I'm excited for that, because we haven't done a lot of soldering in a while. Kind of burrowing? Yes, I'm burrowing the lead here. Ping pong balls. They're great for not playing ping pong, for also playing ping pong, for playing coffee pong, which I think this one may have been used for. Doesn't have an odor, so we're going to assume this is clean. That said, they also make a really good diffusion method for LEDs. If you want to put an LED behind there of a certain color, it's going to just kind of diffuse the light, make it a little bit softer there, and it's colored, it'll change color, as one would do. So what if we were to, say, mount the ping pong ball to some sort of a 3D printed piece that one could, say, put a LED behind, and stick it in there with good adhesion. And then what if one were to take this and that and put it into, say, a grid of said things? And suddenly you have a 5x5 grid of LED diffusion devices. And then let's say that somehow this was able to be linked with other grids like this into a large wall. Point is, we're going to start here, and then we're going to see how far we can go with this. Yes, this is in fact 3D printed material. If you'd like to follow along at home, I'm going to post a link in the chat here, because long-time viewers may know that I am a big fan of the folks over at Hack-A-Day, and gentleman by the name of Modular Lights LED Display is not the name of the person, but you can follow along David's work over at Hack-A-Day. They've in fact also posted the STL files so that you can build this on your home as well. And if you do decide to do that, oh, you know what? We're going to be, oh good, yes. If you do decide to do that, check the back there. You'll notice that there is a circular area indent, and if you don't remove that pre-added support that was part of the STL file, you're going to get things that you can't fit the LED into, so that's going to be a difficult thing. So yeah, this is actually something I'm kind of hoping that we might get to get the site to pay for, because if we can make this big enough, this might be useful enough to be on a set. And if not, I mean, hey, I've got empty walls that I can put interesting things into. So let's talk a bit about how this is going to go. Let's throw it into the big iPhone scene, which is what I call this one. Oh my goodness, that's going to drive me utterly upset if that's not, there we go. Lines have now been made vertical. Okay, so we've got our grid that prints out thusly, and but we need LEDs, as we've mentioned. ArcLight asks, what is this going to be used for? Well, we'll get to that in a second once we finish describing how this goes on here. So these are the little modules. Now you can see they got a square hole in them, because LEDs are square, right? Well, not always. what we've done is we purchased LEDs, specifically 100 LEDs in a large grid format printed onto circuit boards. And interestingly enough, goodbye ping pong ball, these LEDs are also fully addressable. They've got the power in, power out on positive, negative power on or ground, power out, and the third data line. And so you start, you can do the power in parallel, which we're going to want to do because apparently this can, once you start getting larger sets of grids, you start getting into larger pinouts or larger amperage draws. And so what we're going to try to do is maybe make 4, a grid of 2 by 2 of these printed grids, and have it have its own power supply, then go to the next one, go to the next one, and link them up in that respect. But we're just going to, go in a back and forth manner with the data pads. And the person, David, who put together this project initially for what appears to be their son's robotic class, which is really kind of cool, has put together 2 pieces of software to make this work. And the way it works is that there is a Java program which runs on a Raspberry Pi, which looks at the graphics and also looks at motion graphics, and then calculates, what goes where based on the pixel arrangement. Then that information gets sent to a Teensy 3.2 or higher. And what that does is it means that takes care of the refresh rate. It basically just gets the frames and makes sure that there is no flickering on the LCD or the LED display. And so hopefully by the end of this, what we're going to have is something like a Jumbotron, which is really kind of cool. If you did it left to right, wouldn't it be easier to address than sneaking LR, LR? Well, Corvus, it might be easy to do that, but it is, we're probably going to go left to right anyway. The issue, though, is that we want to get something that is going to be compatible with the software, and the software is looking for a snaked, as far as I can understand the software so far. We'll have to look at that look into that in the future, but yeah, it's easier to wire that way. It allows for expansion and also reconfiguration of the display. The demo that they've provided on Hackaday shows I think it's a 30 by 60 or 30 by 120 grid, and it's amazing the way that this works out. It just looks absolutely stunning in how smooth it is and how modular it is, and that's what makes me really super excited about getting this done. Unfortunately, the the global chip shortage has made Teensy 3.2s pretty difficult to get. So we're waiting on that, or I might actually see if I can get a Teensy 4 to work for this, because apparently those are pretty nifty devices. Can you make these grids arbitrary sizes, says ArcLight Dynamo. If you're willing to edit the STL file, I suppose you could, but I think like a 5 by 5 grid is pretty good for this. And they've also engineered clips, which clip to the centers of these things to connect these various grids into larger size. On top of that, integrated screw holes. Like, this is very well designed. Let's not even talk about, we're going to have to talk about, but the channels that run through each of these. You've got your main channels here, which just go through each level, but then you've got these channels which run outside, which are used for running the mains power at like a larger grid. Oh, ArcLight asks, can you link like 50 of these grids together? Absolutely, absolutely. It's just a matter of your time and how much power supply you can run through it based on the wire gauge and also the power supply itself, which is why they suggest breaking it up into grids so that you can power them separately. because otherwise you're going to be running a very expensive and very hot power supply that's going to run for too long. So let's go over the build process that we're going to do today. I don't think we're going to get to the wiring, or I don't think we're going to get to the software portion of this, so that'll be saved for another day. Today is going to be mainly filled with soldering, and to that end, I'm actually going to take the time. We're going to use the Hakko as well, but I'm absolutely going to take the time today to finally test out this, God, I can't even remember what it's called. The Pine-Sil from Pine Computing, which is their open sourced soldering iron. And you've seen it come out several times, but never put to use. So let's see how that will go. The other issue is that if you read through the Hackaday link, they came up with a rather interesting way of doing the wiring. In a way that I don't have access to, because they have a laser cutter. So what they did is they used just, 30 AWG, really teeny tiny thin wire, and then put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 by 5, so a number of wires down onto a template made of cardboard, tape them down on the edges, and then use the laser cutter to strip the wires in the areas that were necessary, and then cleaned up those areas with some lacquer thinner, which, damn, I would love to do that. We don't have access to that kind of technology, unfortunately, yet, or who knows? Probably not going to happen. So what we're going to use is we're just going to use the our good old silicone coated wire, and I don't know, we're going to probably do small lengths between the various LEDs one at a time for the moment. We'll see if that we'll see if that happens. I don't know, Kushinoki. We'll have to talk to the heads up about what sort of what we're going to need in the Patreon for a laser cutter. God, I would love to get one of those K40s from China and set that up in the moon base. But I don't actually think we have the ventilation for it necessary. That said, what we're going to need to do first is do what I did which is a test fit of an LED in there. And they really fit in there kind of perfectly, don't they? There we go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to throw the... flip this around, transform, rotate 180 degrees. There we go. Now we're in the same direction as everybody else. All right, so let's start by cleaning up 5 of these, folks. And then I guess starting our first row. So we got a pretty fresh X-Acto blade in there. Let's just clean any... I printed without any supports for these ones, and they turned out fine. I've just actually started using Oohoo glue. It's actually not Oohoo, but it's Testors? Or one of the major glue brands for us. Elmer's. Started using Elmer's glue as an aid to adhesion on the bed. And boy, by God, has that fixed most of my adhesion problems. Printing is now going hardcore. Dragon Streams asks, how have you tried soldering any of these LEDs before? I have not, but I mean, it's an LED. It's 6 solder pads, and that's it. Hopefully shouldn't be too difficult. Eagle-eyed and obsessive viewers may also have noted from my Twitter feed earlier in the week that I was playing chicken with a filament roll, and that was specifically for this particular project. So yeah, no good. Corvus says 100 LEDs should be 3.5 amps or so when full brightness white. That's about on par with the calculations that were coming in the comments on that. All right, so let's get in there. Oh, yes, thank you, Lady Elios. I was quite happy to find that. It was actually due to me selling off a Macintosh, oh god, Power Macintosh Workgroup Server 76 something or other. It was one of the ones in the desktop G3 cases. And they mentioned that they collected things. I'm doing my best not to not to buy a Apple II GS from that gentleman, but or not an Apple II GS, a ImageWriter 2. But we'll see how that goes. For now, I just need to get the Apple II GS out on display and in use. Oh, you know what actually I'm going to do? I'm going to grab some of my Gunpla material from just around the corner here. We're currently in the seat where again, Birdsight viewers and Mastodon viewers may have recognized, this is where the airbrush setup usually lives. And it's currently been put down because we finished our model of the GP03, and we'll have to see what's going to be up next. The Nightingale project is not finished. I'm still deciding if I want to actually do paint on that, or if I want to just go ahead and panel line, and then go ahead and what's the word? Panel line and then water slide decal, or paint and water slide decal. And I'm leaning on this one, on the Nightingale, to just a panel line. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The airbrush and fume box have been working out fantastically, Draconite Streams. I've managed to do enough painting, which is to say 4 coats of paint, I think, on the Gundam. Let's see. We went primer, Gundam gray base, Gundam white. So yeah, 4 coats of paint, and then multiple coats of finish floor polish, and then a final coat of the X86 flat, which is great. Lysander Salamander asks, keep getting asked, is the cheese still aging, or did you already eat it? I ate it. It was good cheese, but young cheese, and we need to do a second. Guess not all these are going to go in quite so easily, he said, learning about how difficult these LEDs are going to work with. All right. Why did you do that? Probably because you have an edge there that needs to come out. Let's try that again. Wondering if I should actually just heat these things up before sticking them in. We probably want them going in a similar direction too, in terms of the directionality of the circuit. Ah! Sounds terrible, but I'm beginning to wonder if I should heat these up with the would a file be easier than a knife here? Maybe, Corvus. Maybe. I don't know if the knife is actually the problem here. It might just be that the round edges. Maybe I should have used some support in it. We're on number 2 here. There we go. I just need to get it in the hole. There. Ooh, TRS-80 sounds fun to deal with. You know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a wrong tool for the wrong job. And if this works, we're just going to grab an actual hammer. And that's in. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if it's might have been elephant foot that was the issue here, but I can't print. I couldn't have printed them oversized by a few percent Reese because that would have meant that they wouldn't fit as perfectly as they're going to into here. But we'll get there. Yeah, we did actually try sanding a little bit of the LED or the board, but I think this is actually as tight as we want them. I think we're just going to give that a tap. And then give it a tap on the other side. And look at that. Just right in there. Perfect. Perfect! God willing, these will actually still work on the other side. There's a setting in Cura to shrink the first layer, which has helped fix elephant foot for me. Good to know, Corvus. Thank you. I will look into that. We've definitely got some elephant footy on the bottom of these, and that's it's going to make it easier for these things to stay where they're going to be via friction fit, but you know, sometimes it's nice to know that you've got adhesive on your side rather than just a friction fitting. All right, let's get that in there. Side, and just give it a good bonk. And another one on the other side. It's not quite in. Bonk. And Bob's your uncle. God, these are good. All right. Last one for the first row. This part is going faster than expected. Let's get it in there. And then just tap it in. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me get a real tool. Not that that isn't a real tool, but that isn't the right tool. What I'm getting also isn't exactly the right tool, but you know what? It's a tool that we have because my wooden mallet is at the office. Let's use a regular old claw hammer. It's a shame that that Mazinger Z hammer is probably just going to be absolutely picked up by scalpers. How do we convince my brother to move to Tokyo from Akita? Just so he can pick up limited edition merchandise for me. All right, there we go. That's 5 of those. So, once we get the LEDs into the small pieces, then these go into here. And they are keyed such that they go in only one way. So let's say 5 volts, starting from the top here. Let's go left to right, shall we? The setting is initial layer horizontal expansion. Yeah, I mean, as Corvus says, tend to use 1.2 or 0.2 millimeters, but though better test for your printer. Test for your printer is basically the mantra of 3D printing. Dial it in yourself, nerd. All right, and there you go. You can see that's in there perfectly. And if we turn that, you can see that there is still plenty of space for activities down that channel, which is what we want. Magnificent. All right, let's tap the rest of these in, I guess. So we want 5 volt going this way. So 5 volt down. I mean, not that I can't pop them out, should I need to, but it's nice to know that you don't have to fix it. Okay. All right. Let's pop this one in. Hooray for bamboo non-marking spiders. There we go. That's 1 volt. Goes the other way, that way. Ah. Oh, dang, that one just popped right in. Brownie Points says, watch Small Soldiers with your nephew today, and I completely forgot that they used early 3D printing in the movie to make toys. That's kind of cool. Should check into that. I don't know if the dream of 3D printing has been quite realized yet, but there are definitely some very good projects out there. Especially, I'm currently enamored with the stuff you can get out of the resin printers at the very, very fine detail levels. Look at that. Everything's all in the right order. Everything is... Pop that one out of its socket, but... There we go. And that's... Dang it. That's extremely clean, isn't it? And I want to just show you how good these are at cupping the ball. They are absolutely designed specifically for your standard ping ball and goes all the way through nicely. I think a little bit of hot glue in there is definitely going to keep those balls in place. So I guess now that we got one row in, shall we think about soldering? I think we should. Let's get some wire out. So we don't need much. We need just about that much. Let's say right there. So let's give it a snippy snip. And then we'll give it a strippy strip. And we'll see how she goes. Strippy strip. That's too much strippy strip. We just need the barest bit of metal there because there's not much of a pad. There we go. There's one side. There's the other side. All right. Let's see if that slips through the crack nicely, or if we're going to have to change our style of build here. Okay, running into some issues already. We might have to lay that down before we get into the... Yeah, I think that might have to be the case. Might just have to pop those out and... God, add them through one at a time. This is going to be a lot of soldering. Great, 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 great. Can I get it in there from one side? Oh, wait, I have tools for this. Haha! This is not going to be a quick build, let me tell you what, folks. We may have to come up with some sort of system for pre-cutting wires. Okay, so that's going through now, and it has come out on the other side. Come on. Okay, there we go. So the nice thing is, it's going to hold them in place for us. But, geez, is there space for 3 of these wires in there at once? We're going to have to find out, I guess. Ground wire. Now, how long did I have that be? That long? How long is that? I'm sure that's a measurable amount. What do you got for me? Machine, 1 inch and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those are eighths. So 1 and 3/8, it appears to be, is the distance between balls. Let's get our ground in there. And let's prepare some blue wire as well. This blue for data seems to be a good color. Where is the end of the wire? Oh, god damn it. These spools are the worst. Absolute worst. Okay. So, 1 and 3/8. Let's give it a little bit extra there. Can I just cut that with a X-Acto? The answer will not surprise you because the answer is yes. Corvus, I would normally not use inches, except this is an American-based project, and therefore they probably based it off of inches as well. What is that in millimeters? Because we have the scale here. It's just on the other. Well, I mean, it's just right there. Looking at millimeters wise. Oh, you B. You know what? F inches. We're going to millimeters. That is exactly 35 millimeters. I'm much happier with that. Much happier with that. Ooh, Jurassic Park 3 introducing rapid prototyper, scan data, slices, and layers. Okay, that one went through a little bit easier. Still need to grab it from one side, though, and maneuver those wires. Oof. Folks, if we end up doing this a second night, I get the feeling we're going to be working with thinner wires, if you know what I mean. That's not even a euphemism. That's just literally the case. Okay, that's 2. And can we fit that third one in between the two of them, which I realized is probably, I should have done in order. But you know what? That seems to be enough room. Learning curve activate. Oh, ArcLight says ping pong balls are in fact metric. 40 millimeters. Corvus giving the official regulation confirmation there. Or vice versa. I'm not entirely sure with this particular chat monitor which person said which first, but you're both providing valuable information, and I appreciate it immensely. The vital information, of course, being that more things are metric than you think. Hey, there we go. Okay, that didn't take... What did that take? 10 minutes to run 2 sets of wires? That seems... That's definitely scalable, isn't it? It is not scalable. Okay, let's push those down. Crunk. I've crunked the kids. And, okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Let's connect those 2 wires up. Shall we? You know what? Let's start with the new soldering iron. This is the one that was going to go in my travel kit. Turns out that's become immensely less necessary over the intervening time. Do we want the chisel? Chisel seems a bit large for this particular run, so let's... I ruined that one. So let's go with the big chisel pad or little chisel seems... Let's give that a try. Yeah, let's give that a try. Okay, in you go. All right. And that goes here. Remember, let's not ruin that tip this time. That should just hold in place. Ooh, that's got a little bit of a chisel tip to it as well. That's nice. Plug in the USB-C. Ooh, this is my first time booting up here too. So, 5, 9. I don't know what these numbers mean. Let's, heating. What are you heating to? 320. That seems like a good amount. All right, let's just put this down for the moment here while that heats up. And let's just make sure that all of our wires are properly separated so we don't get any cross bleed. And by that, I mean short circuit. There's a word for that. Okay. Solder. Actually, first, flux. And I gotta ask, where did I get this thing? It's gorgeous. This is from Pine Computing. It is the Pine-Sol soldering iron. And it is... very quickly heating up to 325. That is an open source soldering iron, in the sense that both the hardware and the software have been open sourced for adaptation and use. Okay. We are about to hit 325, or 320? 320 is where we want it to be. Great. Okay, let's get some solder in here. Pine-Sol, like pencil, but from Pine Computing. So I'm going to attempt to, you know what, let's zoom in there. And I'm going to attempt to tin the pad first. Okay, that seems to be pin. Let's do the second one. Good. Add a little bit more solder to the first one. Just because it could use it. And third pad. Good. Okay, 3 pads nicely done there. Let's use some of my other tweezers to push down that wire. And there we go. That's a good solid connection there. Do the second one. Data. Come on. Stay out of the ground, data. You don't want to short circuit you. Oh boy. This is kind of nerve-wracking here. There we go. No, don't short circuit on the positive terminal. Oh boy, this is going to be an issue. This is probably much larger wire than I should be working with, TBH. Okay. Come on. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty certain that that is a bridge there. Let's find out. Oh, am I heading in? No? No? No, good. All right. Let's get out the multimeter and see if I've ruined everything. Yeah, these are thick wires. I don't know if I like this very much, but we gotta do what we gotta do. All right, where is my continuities? Not that. I think, yeah, Draconite, that we're gonna have to pre-tin the wires for ease of use here. All right. Yeah, that is absolutely bridge. Gonna have to get in there with the soldering iron and disconnect. Maybe if I can wedge it in between. Just gonna keep it on there for the moment and hope that eventually... Evan, we're going up in temperature. Boost me. 28, 329, 330, 331. Wow, that just does not want to give up, does it? Okay, well, you know what? We're going to try that again on the other side. But for now, I'm just going to let that be, and then we're going to use the old Hacko to clean this up. Corvus, I do in fact have plenty of solder wick handy, because, boy oh boy, it's necessary. Yeah, we should probably just wick some of that up. All right. Remember that you're potentially measuring across a diode. Correct, but yeah, just use it. Going from red here to the blue wire on the other side, that's a bridge. Yep. No question there. All right, Amused Pottery, welcome to the channel. Not exactly pottery action going on here, but 600 degrees, that seems like too hot. Or just hot enough. Just hot enough to debridge. And maybe not. Let's suck some solder up. Hooray. First joins and we're already beefing it. Good job, me. Okay. Sorry. Get my head out of there. Try. Okay, I think I may have separated things, which is good enough in my books. Red to red, red to blue, nothing. Blue to blue, yes. Black to... Good. We're good. Woo! Okay. Both cameras are seeing in from the top. Yeah, wow, that's no good. Right, next run. Shall we try pre-tinning these? I believe we shall. But let's keep it copacetic. Let's try tinning. some of these wires. So let's first get the tin on the pad. Now, did I don't think I hit those with the flux just yet. Maybe you should take the LED pods out before you insert the wires. It's, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Of course. For the future ones here. By which I mean 3, 4, and 5. All right. Good, good, good. Lots of flux. And then let's heat up some wires. There's one. There's 2. And there is 3. Good. Okay. That should keep them closer together for the soldering itself. So let's start with center this time. And let's just give it a bit of a poke. And that's on the pad. Good. Do the same with the ground. Trying not to touch the actual wire with the metal tip, because that'll just pull all the heat right out. Oh, we had a bit of a dry joint there on the blue. Let's put the data back down. There we go. And then red. So I think as it stands, the way I'm feeling here so far is that while the Pine-Sol is working as a soldering iron, it's, I mean, it could be hotter. Let's see if we can make it, there we go. Let's take this all the way up to, I don't know, 400? 400 seems good. Let's see if that's enough to make me happy. Where did you learn how to do all this stuff, Ian? Z Alpha? Trying things out. Learning to do by doing. That is the 4-H way and the unofficial mascot, or the unofficial mascot, the unofficial motto of Tinker Tailor. Let's try is what we use on air and in marketing, because it's not trademarked. Okay, let's make sure those are good joins on all the sides here. That's good. No joins there. And off the pads. Oops, sorry. Gotta make sure I'm in camera here. Great. All right. Those. We got one join out of a bunch. That said, we've learned some stuff. Things like how much wire do we need each time? Which is, I forgot, 3.5. Yes, that was the amount. We'll just run that down there. Boop. That is the sharp end. Yes, good. Which end is the sharp end of my X-Acto? And then we'll need some black. You can't see me measuring this out on the cutting mat, but Hooray for cutting mat gradations. Yeah, I think I'm going to be tinning both the pad and the wires for this particular project on both sides until I can find someone with a laser cutter to cut me some wires. Wonder if Alex still has a membership to the makerspace in town, and I wonder if the makerspace is still running or is running currently. Yeah, everything's going to be tinned probably out of the array, which could speed things up. So let's let's pop these out. Bam. Bam. And you know what? Let's just go to Tin Town. Going to Tin Town. All right, Flux Friends. Probably could use a dip between each of those. There we go. Get those nice and dirty. Municipal Public Library has a laser cutters available for use. Maybe yours does too. Worth looking, Arclight. It's not something I've heard the Victoria Public Library system offer, but absolutely worth checking because hell, they might not be too keen about a person coming in to burn insulation off wires. There's probably something to be said for just building a circuit board that fits between this and connects to all the LEDs via pogo pin, but unlikely that we'll see that here. And I don't think it would save us any money at all, that's for sure. Makerspaces and especially libraries might have limits on what materials you're allowed. Yeah, that's, yep, probably likely. But also, if I'm just saying I'm going in and working on some, working on paper, maybe no one will take notice. All right, hold that down with the pinky. Oh, no, let's do it on camera. Hold that down with the pinky. And good, there's one. There's two. There's 3 tin that side. Let's bring them on down for the other side. Let's do the other direction this time. Okay, 1, 2. Ooh, that's a nice long one there. And 3. All right. Remember, do not inhale the solder smoke, no matter how delicious it smells. Right, actually, I'm going to twist them this way because the soldering iron works better in that direction. Okay, now let's go in the other direction this time. Okay, that looks good. It's 2, and then a third one. This is absolutely not as quick as doing it with pre-cut wires, but we're absolutely making good progress here. Had no idea that these LEDs worked at 5 volts either. Okay, actually, we should do another set of 3 of those. So let's get our... Actually, how many are we going to need? We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3 more. 3 more at 3.5. I'm going to stop using this X-Acto to cut these because it's not worth it. I can measure next to my thumb. Actually, hold on a second. I think I've got something that has a millimeter mark on it so you can see what I'm doing. Ah! You'll do nicely. Oh! And in fact, would you look at that? That's exactly 3.5 millimeters. So we can just boom that there to the edge of the ruler and snip. That's 3 of those. Roughly the same size. We need 3 of the reds. That's 1. I can probably use the same wire to figure that to make this easier on myself too. 2. Right up to the thumbnail, and then the 3rd. Bop, bop. Okay, that's 3 reds, and now 3 more blues. Oh boy. Let's rewrap some of this wire. Got this a long time ago. And I think I need to actually get myself some thinner gauge. As much as I like the silicone wiring, turns out it's not great for tiny projects. So, okay, and now we're going to strip those edges. Where are we at here? I've got too many tools on my desk right now. All of them look the same. Poke those out. Twist those each time. Okay. Here we go. Here's 1 blue. Two blue. After spending so many nights working on the Gunpla that I'd been working on offline, I'm now starting to get a feeling for these sorts of work slowly but surely on certain kind of hobbies and certain kind of projects. And Draconite, I am absolutely with you. This is something I would probably love to have some solid core for. I like solid core wire. I know it's not as bendy as other people like, but something about a long, drawn-out piece of metal that really gets a guy going. That said, I do need to reserve some of this wiring for a glow-up I want to do on a previous model we've made here on Tinker Tailor, which is the injection molder from Bondi. I've seen some people do a really good job upgrading that model using these very same silicone hoses to, well, not silicone hoses, silicone wiring to represent hoses going into it. So yeah, solid core also useful for doing the whole wire. I mean, if we're using just the really, really fine stuff like this, what is this? 30 AWG. It's absolutely solid core, because you can't get much smaller than that. Okay. So now we've got these. Oh, we're going to have so many of these little pieces of color just lying around. All right. Next up, we need to put the wires in, which is we've got to do red, blue, black, red, blue. Oh wait, we want to tin these first, right? Those are tinned. Let's get all these lined up for a tinning. Soldering without a tinning? That is ironically a tinning. Oh wow, I can only hold so many of them in these. Well, okay, I guess it's 3 at a time. You come back here. You go away. There we go. That's got enough space. And okay, you know what? Let's use that to weigh that down. Good, good. Who needs a third hand? And you've got gravity. Can I do that on the other side without moving it? No, probably. Pull those through. Yep. Just to give them a bit of a head start. You know what? Different tweezer, I think. There we go. That'll hold them better and flatter. And heavier too, which is handy. Okie dokie. Good. Good. Oop, too much there. A little bit. Just want to make sure it goes through the hole is the main problem. Okay, good. Those are 3 tinned wires. Yeah, I'm not in love with digital soldering irons, but I don't hate them either. They seem to be, they do the job for me. Ooh, and I have 10% power on my watch. We'll have to fix that up during the break, which, you know what? I'm going to tin these. You know what? No. Now! Time for us to take a short break because I need to stand up, swap my fluids, stretch my legs. So do you. it's been a time, and we're going to be back with more wire tinning and soldering in just a few minutes. Please don't go away. We are back with more Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. That's my head. This is the project, part of the project at least. We're building a ping pong LED display wall thing. And some people were asking about what soldering irons I was using. Yeah, I started off with this Pine-Sol, which is a portable USB-C open source soldering iron. The reason why I like this one though is that it not only allows you to use it via power delivery over USB-C, but you can also just do straight DC up to a large amount of 12 volts. 12 to 21 volts at 17 to 60 watts. So that can take a fair amount of punishment, but yeah, not a lot of residual heat sticking around in there. Not mains connected either, so I think we're just going to stick with the Hakko for today. But that's definitely going to be my travel soldering iron, because every geek needs one of those, right? Okay, let us continue tinning some wires. We only have 2 more sets to tin before we can go about installing them into the second row. And I may have to actually pull out some stuff here. Some power supplies, so we can maybe test the LEDs and see what happens. I was surprised to see that they were 5 volt. I mean, most LEDs I've worked with have been, or at least seem to want 12 volt power. So happy to take it down a notch. Oh no, I've gone and done it. I've dropped the wires and my accent. Sod it all. I mean, that is what we are doing. We are soldering, so yeah. Yes, last time we made fire intentionally, that was for the Feuerzangenbowle, which is A, bad pronunciation, and B, a German holiday flaming punch. It's delicious, and I was going to have some for my birthday, and I completely forgot. I even made the Zucker Hut on air and everything. Okay, those are tinned. Finally, you are also tinned? Omae wa mo tinderu? No, you are not. Janai. Or I guess more correctly, janakte arimasen? Yes. Tin wa janakte arimasen. There we go. Let's get these up. God, the chat delay is just a bit too much for me to remember why people are screaming my name sometimes. Oh, I want to inhale the lead fumes so badly. They're forbidden. Forbidden? Yes, a Hakko soldering station. The forbidden hookah. Are people still super into hookah these days, or is that a trend? I mean, that's, again, yes. Oh, my wow, tinderu. I would assume that a lot of hookah bars probably did not fare too well during the COVIDs, you know, given the sharing of nozzle, or whatever the end of the hookah device is called. Never too late for a German birthday punch. Jib Cat, I like your style. I like the cut of your jib, Cat. I will take that under advisement. Folks, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of wires. 3 of those things, 3 slots left, 4 bridges. Let's do it. Let's start by inserting the wires. Red, blue, black in that order. Through the channels. Through the appropriate channels. You know, let's do it one at a time. Because otherwise I think I'm tempting something. Ooh, that's a tight one there. Thankfully, the tinning will make the drawing of these through a little bit easier. There we go. And then get it under. Good enough. Jam it through there. Anytime I say the word jam it, I'm immediately thinking of Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta and Double Zeta character Jamatov Hyman, who is the, or was, I guess, the leader of the Earth forces, specifically the Titans. Gundam names are such a wide and varied and beautiful collection. Yeah, damn it, jam it. Okay, that's my head. Trying to make sure that my head isn't completely obscuring activities here, but okay, and finally the black wire. I mean, honestly, I wonder, given how long it takes to set up the laser printer. No, you know what? Laser printing is absolutely a faster method of wiring than this is going to be. That said, I wonder by how much. The answer will surprise you. It may surprise you. I don't know. I'm not you. Okay, that is looking pretty good, I might say, on that side. Not the best, but ooh. It's always fun when you pull the wire through the insulation, but here we are. Okay, we're just going to get those in place right now. We're not going to worry about positioning too badly. Let's start with the next set of wires through the other side here. Then I started reading a manga about Kika going around getting testimonials from white base crew about Amuro for a ceremony taking place sometime after Char's counterattack. Maybe that the character is named John. Job John! Yeah, it's probably Job, I think, Manai. But God, Kika getting work post CCA or post CCA is pretty impressive. But yeah. Super excited that Job John, or Job John as the case may be, Job John is going to be in the Kukuru's Dawn movie. I've seen his character design, and he's got a handsome uniform. saw the old shows. The Jetstream attack should have been a meme. I mean, it is. It was. You're just not. You're just not fans with or friends with, I guess, old enough Gundam fans. I don't know. I consider Jetstream attack to absolutely be a meme, especially because they were only there for what, 2 episodes, or was it just 1? The Black Tri-Stars. Temporally awry. Ribbon cabling. You might be onto something there. I can probably burn away the ribbon cabling coating pretty easily without too much work. And I think I've got some ribbon cabling that would be usable in my one of my kits for wiring. And by wiring, I mean, God, what do I mean by that? I mean, DuPont connector connection kits. There we go. Yeah, I'm absolutely also using wire that is probably just too thick for this project to be useful. Big box of junk, says Arclight. Actually, now that you mention that as well, Arclight, I should look through my boxes of junk. I've cleaned out most of my boxes of junk in the past couple months because I'm trying to desperately to scale back in the amount of stuff that I just keep living rent-free in my house. It's getting to the point where I'm now saying, hey, you haven't used it in a year, you're probably not going to use it for a project, you should just get rid of it. It being like broken things or just parts bin stuff. I am old enough and have enough means that if I need equipment or parts, I can probably should just buy them, and that keeping a bunch of things around my house in the thought that I might need them is counterproductive to my mental health. There we go. Get through there. Regular Praetus, tonight's drink is Pacific Pilsner from a can fancily put into an Olympic Asahi beer mug from Japan, because just as I was preparing for tonight's stream, making sure my head's not in the way, the keg blew, where the keg was finished. So time for a new one, I guess. But there we go. That's 2 wire runs. Did I make too many wire runs? I made too many I mean, I didn't make too many wire runs. I made 1 more than I need for this row. There will be more wire runs will be required. All right. Red top. Where was I going with that? Getting rid of stuff. So yeah, I've got some PC. I keep all of my stuff in boxes on a shelf above a closet. You know, the hanging portion of the closet in our bedroom, master bedroom, come studio office that Corey and I use. Yes, we sleep in the second bedroom of our apartment, and use the large master bedroom as the place where we do our work and have our computers and whatnot, because why would you waste a large room on someplace you just do sleeping and the other things that you do in a bed, which should be sleeping and the other thing, and that's it, because otherwise you'll ruin your sleep. But yeah, it just makes more sense that way. And so one of the boxes I had was called PC Internals, and things that you would put into PC cases. This is, like, for example, actually, I've got the boxes here. And this one is a soldering box. It contains all the stuff one generally needs for soldering, like my extra thing. Thank you, Dark Morpwood, for that. Probes, wire, solder, desoldering braid, Kapton tape, the wire splicing holder, and then of course all the stuff that you see currently on the table here. How many network cards do you have, Square.Cube? I had one extra network card actually. Oh, two. One that was 10 base T, which I thought it's probably fine to get rid of the 10 base T. But there was also a broken Wi-Fi card, broken combo Wi-Fi Bluetooth card that I purchased for Hackintoshing, and it never worked as a Wi-Fi card, and only partially worked as a Bluetooth card. And it was one of those ones where the Bluetooth actually connected to USB headers on the motherboard and didn't actually go through the PCI. So, womp womp. Jibcat, 10 megabit, not 10 gigabit. 10 gigabit, I would absolutely keep that around. Not that I have the switches to drive it, but... Okay, come on. You can go through the hole. It's okay. I'll allow it. Okay, that one doesn't want to go through. Do I need to jam it up against the edge? Yep, I guess I do. Okay, that said, while Jamatov Hyman has probably the worst name in Gundam, he's not... His partner, Bascom, is probably one of the coolest looking characters in Gundam. And probably one of the few I could cosplay as with full bald and no facial hair. Just fully bald guy with a with a pair of Bato glasses in red. Good fun stuff. Yeah, Arclight, the silicone is not helping it out here. I'm just going to try coming in from the other side, and I think that's our winning combination here. Because this is the thing with 3D printing. It's very much not an exact science. The whole process is filled with computers, but when it comes down to it, what you're actually doing is just blobbing bits of hot plastic onto a table, and then mostly precisely blobbing more plastic on top of it. So, Jibcat, One Punch Ian's been done. Did that the first year that I went bald during the desert bus that happened in. Okay, let's, I mean, everything's in place here now. Let's put some LEDs in. Ground. So ground to the bottom. Ground to the bottom. And ground to the bottom. Just doing this all at once just so that I don't mess it up. There we go. God, was that DB9? That sure was, Corvus. I was just looking at, for reasons, the 24 Hours of Le Mans today, and I cannot believe that last year was the 5th year. I've been doing that for a while. Not that I'm complaining, again, because I really enjoy doing that, but... Okay, this one should go a lot easier, except for the one that I didn't tin the pads on. Damn it. Hey! Manai's got a good picture of Bascom there. Which is a qualified statement because, I mean, it's Bascom. The picture may be a quality picture, but the man is not in any way good. Okay. Let's tin that, tin those pads, and then let's get to soldering. I need to get a slightly smaller tip for this soldering iron. I absolutely love it. Once again, thanks to Merle for sending it my way. I've done the smart thing, and I'm going to keep doing it of whenever people send me things that are used regularly. I'm going to start... Ooh, I need a toothpick. I'm going to start labeling them with their originator. Because the old memory case isn't what it used to be. Regulus Praetus. No matrix with this. Apparently, the way this works out is that it's all based on, well, each one of these LEDs is in series in terms of the data. They'll be in parallel. Or I guess they'll actually technically be in series for the power too. That is much cleaner, much happier with that. Ooh, ooh. There we go. Having a bit of a stylus here in terms of a non-conductive and most importantly non-heat conductive source has been really useful. Uh-oh. Wait, I think we did it. Okay, let's double check our joins. Always check. Okay, that's through the diode, that's the data. No bridging there. All good. Everything's good. Everything's good. Ah! Ephemeral. Like ephemeral. Thank you for that clarification. And once again, thanks for the soldering iron. It's been real good. Jam, 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 jam. Yes, Iris Aether, we are doing soldering today because we're making ourselves a ping pong LED display grid. It's going good so far. I might be able to get 2. Wow, that's high expectations of myself. 2 whole rows done tonight. Once we get into the groove. We'll see. Their time like here. Oh yeah, we can probably get a second one done. Not making any promises after that though. Here we go. This is going to be us getting into a groove. One nation under a groove. Looking out, sad and wonderful. One nation, we're on the move. Looking good. Random Trivia says, I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out in 12 more time. Did I bump the previous data wire? I don't think I did. I don't think I did, but I'm going to double check. Oh, did that come off? Yes, it did. Oh my God, and so did that. What the? No! Okay, good. I turned it around. For a second I thought, how are all these wires now removed? No, it's fine. Everything's just turned around. These are the ones I haven't done yet. And I'm going to do it again because I want to be able to get my right hand at it from a good angle. This toothpick, though, this is tech. Gotta say. There we go. There we go. Now we know. Doesn't need to be perfect because this is gonna go up on the wall Is it a toothpick if it's not used on teeth? Go away. There we go. Good. We're good there. I use these Japanese toothpicks for a lot of things. A lot of model making, a lot of this. Hell, there have been years when I've used these as sort of, I guess you could say, sealing blocks. Not sealing blocks, what's the word? Pins, I guess, yes. Holding cotter pins for Desert Bus buttons. I just kind of drove it into the side and then broke it off and sanded it. They're just very good. And I'm still using, actually I'm just about done using the final package of Japanese toothpicks that I purchased when I went to Japan in 1996. And I think that might be because I've been, oops, let's get that on camera. Probably because I've been using them a bit more liberally. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, gotta watch out for this blue one, because it's got a bunch of gunk on the end of it. I'm gonna push the red out of the way for the moment, because I don't want to have it in the way. Let's see if I can get any of that extras off the blue wire, or at least in a cleaner manner. Okay, good. That's a good join there. And then let's just kind of sneak our way in on the 5.5, 5 volts on the corner here. That looks good. Gonna double check it with the multimeter. But Tominox, thank you so much for the kind words. I am still love doing this show. Ah! Wait. Aha! Just the tiniest hair of a wire coming across. But we're good. Let me move that around. Okay, flip it over, and we'll do it again. This time over here. Okay, let's move those around. Make sure they're in the right place. I'm going to pull them over just a bit on this side because they're... Let's see, it's not quite... There we go. That seems a bit more in line with where we want things to be. I could probably even pull it even a ½ millimeter shorter, but the black is absolutely going to need to be pulled in as well. Okay, looks good. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I have done a bad thing as well. And that bad thing is that I have not kept on top of notifications. So we'll have to deal with that at the end of the show, as it were. Alrighty, here we are. Toothpick, soldering iron. Let's bend back our not yet solderables. And push our solderables into position. I want you to go over the edge. I want you to go to the other side. Wire. There we go. Leave room for your friend, the blue wire. And let's get it down there. Use the back end. Just give it some heat. There we go. Nice and clean. And no caffeine. Oh, that's my favorite. That's been my favorite one so far. That bottom one right there. Oh, okie dokie. Crunch up the neck there for a second. And where am I at? Right, checking our continuities for bridging. No bridging. Happy camper Ian. All right, flip it around and connect this side. Now, I'm wondering, how we're going to do the bridge. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wire them across thusly, and then worry about doing the bridges down the sides, or maybe even using as the as the original build did, running our power lines up these center channels and then connecting them to there. So we'll see if that we'll see if that's enough. For now, we have 3 more wires to do before preparing new wires. Gosh. Forgetting everything you've learned in the past 5 minutes. That's my superpower. Do not sniff the forbidden smoke, Ian. I wonder if it's something to do with the fact that lead is apparently, in terms of like mouth taste, very, what's the word? Sweet? Yes, sweet. That's it. Draconite, I don't know if I'm going to Zed. That makes the most sense, but I'm just going to actually leave it open so I can decide whether or not I want to do that. I'm into leaving myself open to future possibilities. That said, I'm tempted to see if we can run 5 volts through here as a test, but I don't know if that's going to work just off of a straight 5-volt connection. Let's check that out at the end. Ah, yes, lead was used as a sweetener for centuries by the Romans and whatnot. Ah, we still need to do another 5 LEDs. So I guess let's start with that. Let's jam the LEDs into their holes, and then let's tin those, and then we'll work on some wires. So start with getting our excess filament out of there. There we go. This is printed without supports, by the way, so it's both these parts actually are. So it's incredibly easy to actually get these printed out. I wouldn't even bother printing supports for these pieces. Or the other ones, to be honest. So it makes for an incredibly quick print, which is good because I actually had to print these particular pieces today. And God help me if I'd run out of filament. Just in the planning process, I was wondering if I'd actually be able to do more than 5 today, and I'm glad that the answer is a resounding yes. All right, this is fun too, getting to break off a row of LEDs. Uh-oh, too far down. There we go. Look at that. Just like candy. They're like candy. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Now let's jam them in. He said, literally just going to jam them in. There's one. See? I realize these translate perfectly on both axes, so we don't need to worry about direction just yet. Later. That's for later Ian to worry about. Ah! Although having your LEDs just fly out is also a problematic possibility. Okay. I want to make sure I'm getting this in the hole correctly. So, oops. Turn. There we go. Left to right is how we like to install our LEDs. Johnny Glitched, what you've missed, you're about to see again, so get ready. Okay, what's wrong here? I see. It's got a bit of an edge to the... That's not going to help anyone. There we go. There's a bit of an edge there. Let's clean that out. Okay. Then we can get that in, hopefully. If not, we'll just get out the sanding block again and shape it down on one of the sides. But I think we're going to get in there now. That one went right for the face. All right, let's give it a bit of a shave down. The old emery board. That's the thing with these pop-out bits. They tend to not leave the cleanest release marks, but it should straighten itself out. There we go. Another LED in its hole. Pressing with vise or pliers might be better than a hammer. If I had pliers that were vertical like that, that might work well. I'm happy with the, honestly, I'm happy with the bamboo skewer as a piece because it's keeping anything hard off of the back end of these LEDs. So we don't want to bust them up or ruin the contacts or what have you. I think honestly the best solution would have been for me to, as I said earlier, bust out the hot air working station and just soften these up a bit before I start pressing things into them. But you know what? The fact that it's such a good friction fit to me is pleasant. All right, let's... There we go. There's another one. Good. This one I bet can just go in. Let's see if it does. Yep, it feels good. So let's just tap it in. Good. There's another one. DJ Khaled style. And the last one for this round, just going to clean a bit more plastic out of there. Where did the knife go? Knifely. God, Arclight Dynamo. A proper workspace is a one of those things I would love to have, but currently not feasible monetarily. Not anyone's fault either. I just think we'd need a lot more space, and rent in Victoria ain't cheap. And if I want to continue with the Loading Ready Run video entertainment network, which I absolutely do, yep, can't exactly move out of this area. Let's give that a bit more of a, or any sanding. There we go. Nobody in BC can afford a garage. I mean, garages are great. What you can't afford is the single-family housing with which a garage is attached. And if you do, then you've probably turned your garage into rental property. Because the rent is too damn high. That's pretty much everywhere. Okay. Let's see. Nope, not let's see. Let's make sure we have enough wire. So we've got one set of wire. We need 1, 2, 3 more. 3 more, not 4 more. 1, 2, 3. Ian can count. And then the next time we'll need 4. So let's measure up some bits and bobs. And by bits and bobs, I mean just bits of wire. Okay, so there's 1. Let's drop that off. And another one. Make sure it's the same-ish size. Thankfully, there's a little bit of wiggle room in terms of the distance these wires have to traverse. So I can get it slightly wrong like I did just there. But okay. And there, it's 3.5. Do the same with the black wires. Measure it out. Give it a stiff push with the fingernail. Chop at the fingernail point. Do it 2 more times. Stiff fingernail. Chop. Measure out. Stiff fingernail. Chop. Good. Now the data. Oh gosh, Nunavut is currently in a real state right now. Food too expensive, housing too expensive, and climate change just effing up everything. Not to mention Arctic char, the fish, full, not the red comet, full of plastics, just full. Thank you. Whew. Caught that. Very proud of myself. Okay, where are my strippers? Where my strippers at? Yeah, nothing is good anywhere right now. Let's be fully honest about that, but we are still all here, and that is a small something. So stay safe and continue to be here. Perth is pretty all right, says Johnny Glitched. Well, fine. Perth is fine, and the rest of it, the world is completely hooped over. Please, no more examples of places that are perfectly fine. Perth is the only one. Okay, those three are good. I'm just going to duck off screen for a half second here. I am always amused? No, what's the word? In awe of how many ways the body, the human body, has to make moisture. You've got your mucus, you've got your wax, you've got your blood, you've got your bile. Urine. Everybody's favorite CalPERS fluid. If you don't know what that is, look it up. And then tell everyone in a higher rated, not rated in the sense of iTunes, but higher rated for the MPAA streams. Arclight, I was just going over the ugly bags of mostly water on another stream that I can no longer remember. How's my black bile? I mean, there's a... Nope, not gonna do that. Sealab 2021 was a very long time ago. Strominers is acutely experiencing the moisture making of hands, or thanks to glove use. Yeah, that'll definitely get you right in the old moisture zone. Let's also not forget tears. Everybody loves tears. Red. First. Oh, no, tin. Tinning first. Everything must be tinned. Everybody must get tinned. Hey, it's your boy. Bob Dylan. I think I'm still alive. Is the reason that Bob Dylan is still alive because he went electric? Is the man fully electrical powered at this point? Because most humans have a combination of electrical and pneumatic operation, but is Dylan a cyborg? I mean, I'm not saying he's not. That's for his agent to tell me, I think. I think that's how it works. All right, tinning time. God, that reminds me that my father picked up the unfortunate nickname of Tim the Tool Man. Because he was also a bit of a tool guy when he was alive, but his name was Tim, and Home Improvement was popular at the time. That particular actor, whose name will not be named, was, I mean, less obvious, or at least less publicly a problem. That said, I'm kind of excited to see Buzz Lightyear Space Command. It seems like they're trying something fun with it, and I like it when studios do fun things with their spin-offs. Ooh, Rabbit GTA says their uncle's name is literally Tim Allen, so he. I'm just looking up at the chat. A lot to catch up on. Thank you for the compliment, Johnny Glitched. This is honestly some of the, in my personal opinion, some of the best soldering I've done in a long time. A long time. Oh, and Guildhar, yeah. Fingers crossed for a speedy recovery and or just speedy staying well to your parents. Okay. Wires go through the hole. Red, blue, and black. Wires don't go through the hole until we tin them. And then also I need to, I guess, make some sort of a red, blue, and black Karma Chameleon reference. Though I understand that the red, blue, and green from the Karma Chameleon lyrics may have been referring to, I mean, not may have been, was referring to colors within gay activism flags at the time, which is really kind of cool. Come on. Pick up the solder, you wire. Just get in there. Ah. Do I have to do the thing with the nasty liquid on you too? I guess I do. Thanos voice, well, I guess I'll flux it myself. 3D printed spool wire. Ah, yes. This was actually a spool holder from the previous 3D printer I owned, and that is current, well, not that I owned, that it was given to us by a gracious fan, and currently is at the loading ready run underground orbiting moon base in storage due to current non-usage, but is available for any member to take home and experiment with. I think Alex might have expressed some interest in doing that, so hopefully he grabbed and did it. It was one of the Monoprice tiny ones. Those names I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, Johnny Glitched, it might be that same model with the 15 square centimeters of print space. It was not large, but it was large enough for me to make a spool for solder, and I did, because I needed somewhere to put my solder. All right, let's flux them up. Flux them up, flux them up. Oh, dang it, I've done it again. Well, you know what? Let's finish fluxing. Let's finish tinning. And then let's take ourselves another break here. Sound good to y'all? Sounds good to me. Yep. Yep. Don't drop LEDs. It's the new hilarious spin-off from Hasbro, the sequel to Don't Wake Daddy. Don't spill LEDs. How is it related? Don't ask. And also, continue to not wake Daddy. All right. Flashforge Adventurer. I hope you find out how to swap slicers there, Johnny, because hopefully that the slicer makes all the difference in terms of getting your setup going in a way that makes sense to you. I've found bliss with my combination of Monoprite or the Wanhao D6, which is a clone of the Ultimaker, running a Clipper firmware and running off of an Octoprint box that I had. That I used an old media PC to make up. But yeah, resin printers excite me because I'm getting a little bit more into model making, and for the small figurey stuff and small parts, and especially high resolution, a resin printer is absolutely the way to go. Steinberts asks, may I ask what metal you use for soldering? My dad swore by lead, not knowing much. I'm curious what you prefer using. Steinberg, if you are doing hobby soldering, absolutely go lead. I don't... Lead-free is good for, you know, large companies like Apple or Google to say that, you know, we're not using... we're not introducing a large amount of lead back into the environment, but for hobby use, the ease of which leaded solder flows and runs is night and day from leadless solder, and you will be kicking yourself. It's unnecessary kicking yourself. You know, when you graduate out of hobbyism into industrial production, and you're paying people or paying robots to solder things up for you, yeah, lead-free solder, fine there. But for just doing your own stuff at home, absolutely, just pick up leaded solder. You'll be much happier with it. Just again, make sure to wash your hands after every time you use it. Don't touch your face and eyes, and don't eat anything until you've done that. And don't breathe in that sweet, sweet gas. All right, that, as I said, should take us up to second break. So, like I said, get out there, stretch your legs, swap your fluids, and we'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll be back with more soldering of this LED ping pong wall in just a few. Don't go away. Sup nerds! We're back with more of the Tinker Tailor Solder Fry experience, which is just like Tinker Tailor Solder Fry, except also an amazing simulation. Friends, we are putting together an LED ping pong wall. It's going to light up eventually at some point, but so we've managed to do one strip, and we're about to do a second strip, inserting it in here, and that should be about where we can get tonight, which is not too bad. Like I said, I honestly thought we'd get one strip in today before we were done. Thank you, Aquinas, for those bits, by the way. Happy to have you here on the community cheer to lure distracting me through 3 different infants' inability to sleep at night. Good Lord. I hope you can get some rest soon. Let's start inserting wires, because that's what we need to do. Yeah, with everything priming, tinned, everything tinned. Tinning, the priming of the soldering world. How can you tell when you have too many hobbies? And I've been desperately trying to decrease. Johnny Butch asks, what's your technique for fusing 3D printed parts together? I've had no luck with super glue and freehanding it. So here's the thing. I have not done too much fusing just yet. There's a project that I just did, which will not be fused together, but in fact has spaces for magnets. But the one project that I did do, which was the, what do you call it? Oh, the ship, the X-Wing ship, the Hammerhead. That I did use cyanoacrylate, super glue, to bind it together. It also included a keying mechanism. Like it was just a square-shaped wedged key on both sides that you put together, but I had to sand the hell out of it to actually get it to get the pieces to mate. But once I did end up getting them to mate flush, it was super glue plus a lot of pressure. I ended up wrapping, I think, 3 or 4 of those sorts of elastic bands you get with broccoli around from the top of the ship to the bottom. And I think there are 3 sections that that needed to be connected together. And yeah, pressure clamping is, from my experience, the most important part of gluing anything together, is making sure that the glue has a chance to, if it's a glue, that it has a chance to set. And if it's a solvent binder, then it has a chance to melt things and stick them together in a way that is handy. Penguin Rojo asks, when do we get to see your model collection? That's going to be an interesting one, because I did actually recently just get up a good number of my All Nippon Airways girls in their new home in the new IKEA Deltorf. But Corvus says their go-to is if it can fit nuts and bolts. Absolutely. If you're looking for, if you're not looking for a hidden finish, I mean, even if you are looking for a hidden finish, you can hide nuts and bolts pretty well too. And that's going to be a good way of holding things together. I might go that way for some, in fact, I have gone that way for some of my other prints, like the ones for the, the car busy box that I made. Busy box? Yeah, button box. That's the word I want. It wasn't a busy box, it was a button box. When you're racing, you're already busy. Shoe glue, drill a hole, and use some Torx screws for that professional touch. I mean, damn, yeah, I love me some Torx screws. But it all depends on what the end purpose of said project is going to be. Because that can really determine, do you want exposed screws? Would magnets, like, technically that that Star Wars Hammerhead was supposed to have, or wasn't supposed to have, but it had the option of being magnetically mounted in the back for an LED kit for the engines. And I thought, it's not really necessary for what I'm doing with it. And also because I painted the back end separately, I can always crack the super glue and install the magnets in the LED kit in future, should I want to. Not so much so with the Gundam that I just did, because it's starting to get close to the limits of the plastic. But, YouTuber I follow just uses what I believe are wood screws. The plastic is just soft enough to work. Corvus, that's absolutely correct. I mean, it's not absolutely correct. It's been evidenced in the sense that you have watched it. You've seen them do it. But yeah, that would absolutely work. You know, if you just print out some bosses and some receptacle holes specifically designed for self-tapping wood screws, yeah, that would be fine to hold things together. Again, it all comes down to your level of finish and what you want it to look like in the end. You know, you could design 3D prints such that they just snap together, and if that's, you know, the look that you're going for, great. James Burton, Brutton. I do think I know that name, but also 3D Android print. Merle says, pausing your print to embed some nuts or other threaded inserts into the part works wonderfully. I have heard that one too. Also, specifically in terms of magnets, which is another interesting and cool thing. I'm not at that stage yet with my FDM printer, where I'm pausing it at certain points, but that might be something for the future to look into. First of all, I think I want to get started on learning how to swap filament, not mid-print, not because I want to change colors, but mostly because I just want to be able to use up old spools. Yeah. No, I like this one because it contains the mounting holes for screws already, but also has the ability to add the 3D printed snap mounting around edges. I will absolutely, for the next episode that we work on this, have one of those handy. And this is one of those ones where I may also, much kind of like the Dreamcast, do some work off screen. Again, we'll see if this turns into a project that's just for me, or if this is a work project. Although even if this is just for me, God, I would kind of love to have a just huge pixelated wall. I should do the calculations. Actually, someone wants to do the calculations for me. This is a... Hold up. I'll give you dimensions. This is a... Oh, it's just under 19 point... Where's that line? It's a 19.3 millimeter or 19.3 centimeter square grid. I'm kind of curious as to what a full HD, a 1920 by 1080 sized grid would look like in terms of size. 28 by 28 grid, you could display Twitch emotes. I mean, that's eminently doable, Arclight. Oh, Corvus, yes, says, I saw a video a while ago of someone making a machine that used a soldering iron to heat and insert threaded inserts, so it melted into the plastic. Those are literally just things that you can get for soldering irons as heat inserters, and I absolutely need to buy one of those because I would love to get some of those embedded plastic or embedded brass screw terminal ends for some future prints, because that starts to look very neat and tidy. And Ian likes the neat and tidy when he's serious about things. Okay, 1920 is 1080 is 2 million pixels. Ooh, okay, you know what? Maybe, I was just thinking to myself, well, you know, 1,900 pixels. That's not too bad. I could probably do that. Yeah, I forgot. That is also the other direction. Not gonna happen. Staking my claim in the ground there, unless that is the final project I ever do, and we just watch me insert wires into some 3D printed meshes. Also, that would be huge, now that I think about it. 360 by 480 is 100,000. Yeah, you know what? We may not be making that. I mean, the wall may be big, but the number of soldered pixels may not be. Like at a certain point, and it's a very certain point, the amount of space becomes the issue. How many gradations of color do you get out of the LEDs? Are they RGB8? I'm not sure, Sir Spate. I'm honestly not sure what the, other than the fact that they are RGB based, what the full-on specs are. But I know that from the video evidence, there's a very good amount of color variation. Nope, not doing that right. Come on. So CGA 320 by 200 is only 64,000 ping pong balls. So this might not be a wall, but I definitely want to get it set that we can maybe display things like, you know, follower counts or viewer counts at the moment. And emotes is not a bad idea. Yeah, 40,000 is pretty hard. Now, they are RGB 8-bit each, but they do some internal scaling, so you don't actually get that many shades. Yeah. Honestly, also the ping pong balls are doing a lot of diffusion work, so I don't think color accuracy is not one of my goals for this. Resolution and brightness are probably the main things. And brightness is going to be controlled by just the sheer amount of amperage we can drive to each LED, which is why we want to use those separate power supplies. Hey, look at that. Managed to get a full row in there in actually 15 minutes, so not bad. .32 by 32 would allow me to display Windows 3.1 icons. Well, I mean, 32, I mean, the thing is, too, the nice thing is, because of the software that's running on the Raspberry Pi end of things, that means that we get I have to think here for a second about how we need to so if we want to do a Z pattern, which I think we do, then I need to run these in the opposite direction of the top one, which I guess let's just do it. Otherwise, we're making a choice here. So then that's going to go ground 5-volt top, flipped over. 5-volt top, flipped over. 5-volt top, flipped over. 5-volt top, flipped over. Because this is the direction that the control wires are going to be going in anyway, so that's fine. Does the software support the Z-axis? Absolutely not. But yeah, the software on the Raspberry Pi end of things absolutely will take care of scaling and animations. So I feel confident about that being a useful system to take care of that. And honestly, if it's big enough for Windows icons or classic Mac icons, then it's big enough for scaled down Twitch emotes, in my opinion. I mean, black and red are switched for this row. Good point there, Corvus. That's, yep. They are switched, yep. So we'll have to keep that in mind for future troubleshooting. I think as long as we're consistent, there you are. Yeah, as long as we're consistent within this, and as long as we're remembering what we've done. So remember, chat, remember everything we've done today. We can work with it. This is a prototype. Prototypes are sometimes not the best in terms of come on. Sometimes prototypes just need to be the job getting done rather than anything particularly proper. Oh, yeah, I am okay with that. This particular run, I am just at the edge of proper wire length. Okay, those ones look good. These ones are a bit... Gonna pull that one just a bit out that way. Even out this one. A prototype of the rough draft. It does not benefit from the iteration on the process you learn need to make while building the prototype. Yeah. Yeah, I think this one row being backwards isn't going to be an issue for us this time, but we should probably, at the very least, mark it with a label, just to be sure. Thankfully, the LEDs themselves, I'm not sure if you can see there, but they are marked with directional arrows. So at least, if at the very least, we can see from the PCB itself which direction things are supposed to be flowing, rather than relying on the color of the wire. That said, let's do it proper next time. Next time gadget. Okay, where is my soldering iron? Still here. A toothpick. Let's begin on this side. So we just need to tap this down here. Hold it down with the toothpick and just melt it. He said. Simple as pie, he said. That seems okay. I'll take it. Okay, now let's do the same with this one. Come on. Hold you down. There we go. I keep not taking advantage of the surface area of this tip. But, keep pushing just with the edge of it, and then it's... but if I can lay it down, surface area means good contact. All right, let's try this one. Move those out of the way. And just push down on it. The center. Do a similar thing here. Ooh. I hope that's not a bridge. My eyes are not with me tonight, but... Okay, that one's good. All right, let's check those. First actual connection, black to black. Happy, black to blue, nothing, perfect, blue to blue, good, blue to red, nothing, red to red. Beautiful. We're on a roll. Flip it around. Do it again. Solder make hottie, please. Good. That's one. No, 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 no. Solder only to pad. I'm imagining that meme about the dog right now. The no bridge, only pad. Rabbit GTA says, gonna have my first project using an Arduino Uno. It will be the main guts of a fencing score machine. Cool as hell. So this is how the show has been pretty refreshing for solder skills. That is super cool. If you're on Twitter, fire me the project when you're done, because that's if you're willing, because that sounds pretty cool. I took a very because of where I lived growing up in junior high, I was only able to take fencing as a short, I guess, demo course for a couple of weeks, as it was offered our junior high. And I wish I'd kept at it, because that was a lot of fun and a sport I could kind of get behind. Because, you know, big nerd Ian, not a big fan of the conventional sports. And big geek Ian, conventional sports players, not a big fan of the Ian. Way too small and fiddly work for me, says Johnny Glitch. Yeah, you know what? Everyone has their own preferences. And everyone has their own scale that they can work at. Why is that one feel like it's almost... Oh, it's probably because it's been held into place by the... by the flux. That, however, is a... very close to bridge join. Gotta be careful here. Sorry, Ed. Sorry for the head. Oh, Johnny, that's this is the hands glitching too much is definitely an Ian in painting mode. One of the things I like about soldering at this scale is that pressure matters, and the minute you can exert pressure, you can kind of cancel out the natural shakiness, as you can see. Not too bad today. So happy about that. Okay. No bridges on the last one. How about now? God damn it, there's a bridge. I hate myself. Okay, and that might have bridged in between the red and the blue, so we're going to do that. Okay, please tell me that's no longer a bridge. About that all. Red to red. Good. Blue to blue. Red to blue. Nothing. Red to black. Or blue to black. Nothing. I'm a happy camper there. Ooh. Okay. Where's my solder poker? I've got to remember this this trick with the toothpick for future. I can't believe I haven't used it before. Although I guess it really only works rather well when you've got everything tinned to the max. Okay. Let's be very careful with this black one. Because it's got a bunch of extra solder on it, but that's okay. Just means it makes a nice connection. That looks good to me. Black to black, black to blue, nothing. Blue to blue. Good. Blue to red, nothing. Red to red. Perfect. Doing good so far. 6 more joins, and I think that's going to be it, folks, for the day. This project's got me excited because it's going so well. And I like it when projects excite me because it means I want to do them more. And I enjoy doing a little bit of soldering every now and then on the show. I hope this is entertaining for people. It's entertaining for me because I get to chat with a bunch of real hoopy froods and do electronics work, which I enjoy doing sometimes, especially the physical end of things. All right, and last one. Here we are. Push it down. Push it down. I always tend to think of streams in the same way as I think of like a like an open mic night at a bar or a church basement sort of seminar thing or class, and it absolutely blows my mind sometimes that the number that, you know, but when you think of it in terms of that way rather than in terms of like television broadcast numbers, getting 265 people into a room to watch a guy solder some pads is a pretty ridiculous thing. Folks, have a look at that. We've got 10 whole LEDs wired up in a way to that will hopefully be dataful in the future. Let's head back to the booth here while I bring it out. That's what it looks like so far. And where's the ping pong ball? Just once again for y'all to make the comparison. There it is. And so we're gonna get 25 of those on here, and we're gonna make them do colors in the way that they're supposed to look. Oh, mein goodness. Yeah. Dang, Sarah Markov, that is a very good accomplishment for the day. Staying pleasant to a customer who came to get their cake despite having COVID, stayed in his car, was masked, would open the passenger, spritzed the mask with alcohol first, had to take the cake in the bag, held my breath, touched only the outside of the car, ditched the apron, threw the mask, washed the hands and face, spritzed down the alcohol again, fully vaccinated, but for real, told us he'd open his trunk. Yeah, good job staying calm on that. And to all you out there, stay safe as much as you can over the next little while, because we are still in a global pandemic and it's still rough out there. But I want to say thank you to everyone who has joined us tonight for Tinker Tailor Solder Fry. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here as always. And what I want to do is thank a bunch of you for your generous subs and bits. I'm trying to get, okay, got a bus work, streamers, well, there's multiple streamers, Benjamin Wheeler, that's not me. Okay, you know what? Magic Player, great acting, okay, cards. All right, I'm gonna call it, right there is the number of people who have streamed for today. But that said, before we get into it, I want to thank all of you who have been so generous with your subs over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Keeps the lights on. Check out store.loadingreadyrun.com for the getting yourself something special for yourself or for that special someone, or just to keep Beach happy. He needs to be happy. Finally, if you're on YouTube, check out youtube.com/loadingreadyrun for all the great shows and to become a member there and ask us questions on our monthly Ask Laura streams. I get it right when Heather's not around. And we want to thank those of you who sub and bit us here at twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun. That's where the live stuff happens. Hi, YouTube. Check us out live next time. But we should thank the subs and bitters, starting with Captain Hat for 105 months. Thank you so much. Mola Molithint for 44 months. Help, the months don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. And a guy called Squid subscribed for 26 months. Thank you for your continued support. Exit, pursued by a bear for 79 months. Thank you for your continued support of the channel. Is a 4-month subscriber. Love the name and thank you for supporting us as well. Zed Alpha coming in at 76 months. I just quit and my incredibly horrible job today. Oh no, that's Asterix today. Now I'm watching you do something cool. Today is great. So glad to hear that, Zed Alpha. I hope the work world turns around for you soon. Broken Golem, 64 months of subscription. Thank you for that power of 2 as well. Thanks to Amused Pottery for joining us with the Raiders. Nikaro saying hello all, coming in with 66 months. Clickety click. Prince Nimzar subscribing for 48 months. And Regulus Praetus for 67 months. It's been literally decades at this point since my last EE class, but I'm still kind of digging this, not gonna lie. Thanks for joining us and thanks for the compliment. I'm not a teacher, but no, I'm just not a teacher. I'm not teaching anyone. Do not learn anything from Ian. You can quote me on that. The exact same, subscribing for 63 months. Thank you for your support. Aquinas for your bits. Thank you for those distractions. And thank you for good luck with the kids. Neuter Commuter. 67 months. Thank you for your continued support. 2 more to Nice. And Zombie Hendrix coming in with 38 months. Thank you for your support. I hope that you can go electric at some point in the future as well. Folks, that's going to do it for Tinker Tailor Solder Fry for one more week. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, in a fortnight, never in fortnight. And I'm patting my button, my areas for my phone, and I don't know where it is because I don't know what's coming up in 2 weeks' time. You know, we might just be working on a Gundam model, or we might just work some more on this. Who knows? We'll find out You'll find out if you're here. And if you're not, see ya. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you next time, as we say every time, ever forward, learning out of spite. Good night.